you can feel it in your heart, and I hope it brings you comfort when this world grows dark. Let it echo through the madness, let the message pull you through. This is our medal of honor to you.
And now, Armed Forces Weekly with Donna Lyons on TSPN.
Welcome to Armed Forces Weekly. I'm Donna Lyons. Part of the Declaration of Independence reads, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." Independence Day, the 4th of July, is quickly approaching. Remembering why we celebrate is a duty for all Americans. It's a day that honors the birthday of the United States of America, the sever from the British Empire, and the adoption of the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776. It's a day we celebrate by flying our flags, picnics, beaches, baseball, parades, and fireworks. But we should never forget why we celebrate this great day, and thus fully appreciate our nation's birth without remembering those who gave all to make it happen, and those today who remain on point, still protecting our independence. In 1776, the Continental Congress turned to a brilliant 33-year-old aristocrat from Virginia, Thomas Jefferson, who in a matter of days wrote one of the most prolific and celebrated works for human freedom and self-government in the history of the world. He wrote with such incredible passion and eloquence about human liberty and promise of a democratic republic. The Declaration of Independence was approved by the Continental Congress, putting the 13 colonies on the road to freedom. It also signifies the primary meaning of this nation, a nation founded on moral principles. The birthplace of the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution is Independence Hall, located in Philadelphia. The hall is part of American history. It's part during the colonial era, the Revolutionary era, the early Republic, the elimination of slavery, the women's suffrage movement, the civil rights movement, and other important periods. It was graced with the Liberty Bell, which tolled on many occasions to call the assembly together and summon people for special events. However, the most significant calling was the reading of the Declaration of Independence on July 8, 1776. Enjoy our nation's birthday, celebrate our freedom, and remember that the 4th of July should be a tribute to the men and women, some who gave all, who deserve our thanks and gratitude for their sacrifice for our freedoms. America is the land of the free because of the brave. Our nation's liberty is a testimony to those who have sacrificed to the call of duty and answered heroically and courageously. Freedom is not free. Remember those bold and gallant souls of 1776 and transcend to those displaying their strength and valor against terror today. Americans have always been willing to pay this necessary price. The freedom we enjoy today has been paid for with generations of blood, sacrifice, and sorrow. Your all-volunteer force, America's greatest treasure, guarantee your quest of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Remember America's sons and daughters during your flag-flying picnics, baseball, parades, and fireworks. We all know they have seen some fireworks themselves. Francis Scott Key had exactly right when he penned the Star-Spangled Banner in 1814, with the rocket's red glare and the bombs bursting in air. Thomas Jefferson told the world, "The mass of mankind has not been born with saddles on their backs. Freedom is America's core. We must never deny nor forsake it. Should the day come when we Americans remain silent in the face of armed aggression, then the cause of America, the cause of freedom, will have been lost, and the great heart of this country will have been broken." Months after Superstorm Sandy swamped her little island, the Statue of Liberty will finally welcome visitors again on Independence Day. Sandy made landfall one day after the statue's 126th birthday, flooding most of the 12 acres that she stands upon with waters that surged as high as 8 feet. Lady Liberty herself was spared, but the surrounding grounds on Liberty Island took a beating. Railings broke, docks and paving stones were torn up, and buildings were flooded. The storm destroyed boiler, sewage pumps, and electrical systems. Hundreds of National Park Service workers from as far as California and Alaska spent weeks cleaning mud and debris in recent months. All mechanical equipment was moved to higher ground as workers put the island back in order. The damage to Lady Liberty and the island cost an estimated $59 million. Some repairs to brick and walkways and docks are still underway. But on July 4th, visitors will arrive via ferry boats once again to tour the national landmark. A gift from France, the statue was conceived to symbolize the friendship between the two countries and their shared love of liberty. It was dedicated in 1886 and welcomes about 3.5 million visitors every year. And on a wonderful note, a 91-year-old World War II veteran, Melvin was honored for his heroic World War II service. He received a Purple Heart Bronze Star and a POW medal. His family was told years ago that his records had been lost in a fire, preventing him from receiving his medals, until recently when someone found them. He joined the Army in 1945, serving in Northern and Central Europe, and was captured by enemy forces and taken as a prisoner in Germany. He said at one point he and two other soldiers hid in a potato bin when Germans with flashlights entered a house. And on another occasion before his capture, a German soldier came out of a foxhole in a town and threw a grenade at him. Dull was able to put up his hand and block the grenade, but received injuries to his hand and chest. As Dull and his comrades were going house to house, they went too far and he was captured. They were kept in a schoolhouse. Dull will never forget his time in service and never thought anyone would ask about it, let alone receive medals. During my time as a journalist, I have done many stories about World War II veterans, and while speaking to each of them, I realized that time is the adversity of remembrance. Someday soon, these great patriots will no longer be with us to share their stories, and we will no longer be able to listen to their words, shake their hands, or say thank you to their faces. Their history and war stories will be relegated to books, magazines, or to being told by family members who listened closely if or when one of the vets would open up about their time in service. We must commemorate them with events like this as often as possible while never forgetting their sacrifices. It is our obligation and responsibility to commemorate and honor the gift our veterans have given us and our allies, freedom. And at the end of June, the United States Military Academy, better known as West Point, hosts the annual Reception Day, or our day, when approximately 1,000 new cadet candidates enter West Point for a college and military education. However, there is a price. Those admitted to West Point must commit to 5 years of service in exchange for an undergraduate degree, and to be admitted, they must literally have congressional approval from their local representative. Some young men and women make it through the 4 years, but a good 10% drop out usually during cadet basic training, known as Beast Barracks, or shortly after. Those who stick to the grueling educational, military sports, and the ever-present volunteer duties for a multitude of activities from donating blood to working with children are rewarded at the end of the 4 years with the presentation of a degree and a second lieutenant bars. Once admitted, the new cadet candidates begin our day by attending a short briefing at Eisenhower Hall with parents, family, and friends. After the briefing, the candidates have 90 seconds to say a tearful goodbye and begin marching to buses in silence. They drive a short distance to Thayer Hall, where they are changed from their street clothes into black shorts and gray t-shirts, be admitted to their cadet company issued underwear, tote bags, shoes, be measured for uniforms, and take the Army oath, all a kind of orderly chaos. From there, the senior cadet marches the cadet candidates to the area behind the barracks and instructs them in saluting, marching, and the proper military way of answering questions, follow orders, and begin to teach the new cadet candidates how to live life as a West Point cadet. The recruits are referred to as new cadet candidates until they complete basic training, usually lasting 6 weeks. Our day is the basic beginning of basic training, and some have come from military families, while others dream of becoming a military officer. The Summer Leaders Seminar mimics cadet basic training and teaches them what cadet life is really like, that they need to work hard, and their first year will be especially difficult. I want to give a shout out to Elizabeth and Mark Rodriguez, friends of mine, whose son Matt Rodriguez has just entered West Point as a cadet candidate, a dream he has had since the 3rd grade. Godspeed and best to Matt. Today I have a very special guest visiting me, my grandson Sean Riley. As you know, it's important we remember the children of our service members, especially during deployments. Sean's daddy proudly served in the United States Navy aboard the USS Reagan, which at that time was part of a growing international effort offering relief to Japan during the tsunami. One of Sean's grandpas is a former Navy SEAL, and his other grandpa is an Army colonel who is a director of legislative affairs currently deployed in Afghanistan. I think with all those role models, I may see West Point or Naval Academy in his future. Hi, Sean. Welcome. You want to tell us about your daddy's ship?
Yeah.
Did you go visit it?
Yes.
Was it pretty cool? Awesome. And we are getting ready to go to a commercial. Did you want to take us out to a commercial break? Okay. You want to say hi to Mommy and Daddy first?
Hi, Mommy. Hi, Daddy.
Hi, Grandpas.
Hi, Grandpa.
What were you going to say for me?
We'll be right back into a commercial break.
We'll be right back with my guest, Melinda Pickerel, who is a local girl here and going to talk to us about TAPS, the Tragedy Assistance Program here in the Sacramento area. We will be right back.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.